Good morning, Stampers. Welcome to another snowy Friday. Thankfully, it's not super cold outside, but it's very, very snowy where we are here. Okay, I'm just going to log in. Be sure to say hi when you pop in, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. Okay, there we go. Okay, I think I'm ready. Okay, we are just going to jump right in here and we'll do the draw for last week. So for those of you who are new to my channel, well, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Sherry Roth. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada. And I come live to you every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And I'd love for you to join me. So every week I start off with a draw for last week's project. So I always give away what I made the previous week, and the way that you can get entered to win, good morning Christine, is by commenting, asking a question, commenting whatever on the Facebook, whether it's live or the replay, or on YouTube if you're watching the replay on YouTube, and you get 5 entries for sharing, so if you share my video. So this is what we created last week. This was a tri-fold card, so you can go back. If you missed that, you can go back and see how that is made. So I've got everybody's name in here, and the lucky winner for this beautiful card is Susan McLevin. So I will pop that in the mail for you, Susan. Okay, I'm gonna flip the camera around and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Good morning, Amy. Okay. For some reason, I'm drawing a blank here. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's see how that looks. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, I think we are good. Good morning, Mary Liz. Good morning, Brett. Okay, so today we are creating 2 cards today, and this is kind of the core grouping of products that I'm using. Lots of celebration stuff. So the stamp set is called Strong and Beautiful. It is in the Occasions catalog, and I love the greetings in this stamp set. It makes a great Mother's Day set, but not only that, there's so many great sayings in here for friendship, for other women, if you've got daughters. Like, I love this. You have what it takes to be unstoppable, and I couldn't be more proud. Like, there's just so many great sayings in here. So we're using that stamp set. We're using this punch, which is called the Story Label Punch. This is one of the, good morning Lisa, from Wisconsin. This is one of the celebration coordinating products. So it's available for the month of March. Oh, is it Women's Day today? I didn't even know that. Well, I'm glad that that worked out really well. Okay, so, and I love this punch. This is a great size. It works with so many different greetings. So we're gonna use that today, and I'm gonna show you a couple different ways that you can layer that punch, okay? And then as far as celebration products, we're using the Painted Seasons DSP. So this is, I think this is my favorite DSP right now. There's the fronts and then the back sides. So nice big bold patterns on the front. And then we've got some subtle patterns on the back. And I wanted to point out that this paper is available in 2 different ways. So you can get it as free with a $120 purchase in Canada. And it comes as a bundle with that option. So you get the coordinating stamp set and you get a package of the DSP. But beginning March 1st, they offered just the paper as a $60, free with a $60 purchase choice. So you can now get just the paper if you want just the paper, okay? So I wanted to point that out. And then we are using one of my favorite embossing folders right now. This is the Country Floral embossing folder, which is also another celebration item, something that you can get for free with a $60 purchase. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let me show you the first card. So the first card is a way that you can tweak the embossed cardstock. And the second card, we're going back to keeping the embossed cardstock simple, but it features a little bit of a fun fold. Okay, so this is the first card here. I am in love with these colors. Love, love, love these colors. So we're using Pool Party, we're using Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, and a little bit of soft sea foam in there. So we're gonna create this card first, and then like I said, be sure to stick around because the second card is a little bit of a fun fold, okay? All right, so first up, we've got our pieces. We are starting with just a regular size card base. Good morning, Susan. You won the card from last week, Susan, so I'll pop it in the mail for you. So this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're just gonna fold that in half. And we'll set that aside. And then I've got 2 pieces of cardstock here. This one is Calypso Coral. It measures 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. And this piece of white measures 3 inches by 4 inches. We are gonna take this piece and run it through the Big Shot. With the embossing folder, which, oh, here it is. Okay, so I'm just gonna pop that in there. This is a dynamic folder, so you only need 1 plate. Good morning, Barb. Okay, so we'll move the Big Shot back out of the way. So then we've got this gorgeous texture on this card. I absolutely love it. It's so pretty. And you can leave it, it looks beautiful, just like this. Good morning, Kristen. Oh, you're trying to catch me live while you're sitting and waiting for your car at the dealership? Oh, that's cool. Okay, so this embossing folder looks beautiful. It doesn't matter if you do anything to it. So it looks great in any color. It looks great in white, but what you can do to it is you can add some color so that it gives it a completely different look. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I am using Stampin' Blends. You can also use finger daubers and your ink, but I love the look of the Stampin' Blends. So I've chosen the light versions of the following colors. I've got light Petal Pink, light Pool Party, light Pineapple Punch, light Soft Sea Foam, and light Calypso Coral, okay? There's no need to do any kind of blending or anything with this. It looks just great, just the way it is. And the blends, this probably isn't the best color to demo. I'll demo a darker color in a minute here. But you just color them in. They will bleed out a little bit, so especially when you're doing the smaller images, you don't necessarily need to go all the way out to the edge because it will bleed out. Like I said, this is a really soft color, so it's hard to tell. And I'm not even being super careful. It's really easy to color in. Okay, let's do the coral because that'll be the darkest color. All right, so I'm gonna color these little flowers and I'm just gonna follow around the outside and then color into the middle. I don't know if you can see, but you can see, for me, because I'm a little bit closer, I can see it bleed out. So just like that. And you just keep going. Good morning, Beth. Thank you for sharing. And then you just color the centers with the yellow, and then you would just keep going until it looks like this. I didn't think you'd want to sit here all morning and watch me color. So I did the smaller flowers in the light Calypso Coral, the leaves in the soft sea foam, these bigger flowers in light Pool Party, and then this larger rose in light Petal Pink, okay? And then the centers of all the flowers are done in yellow, or in pineapple, okay? So that's all colored in. So we are going to add that to our coral cardstock. It's just so pretty. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, and then we've got a piece of the Painted Seasons DSP. This piece measures 1.5. It doesn't look like 1.5, does it? That looks a little bit smaller than 1.5 by 5.25. Maybe it's 1.25. However wide you would like it, you can cut it. So any of my local ladies, did you guys have to go out this morning? Did you have to drive anywhere? Oh my gosh, it is, the weather is absolutely terrible. We got a ton of snow overnight. It's still snowing. I had to drive my son, he doesn't have school today, but it's robotics provincials this weekend, so they have their final day to work on their robot and their presentation and all that. So their nest, where they meet to work on their robot and practice and everything, is at an acreage just outside of Sherwood Park. And oh my gosh, I don't like driving on acreage roads or even the highway at the best of times in the winter. Like when the roads are clear, that's fine. But this morning with visibility was terrible. There were so many cars that we passed in the ditch. And just, Highway 21, you could hardly see. It was just absolutely crazy. Yes, Amy, just stay home. You don't need to go anywhere. Okay, so then I added my focal point on there. If you don't need to go out, I said to the boys, because I had to pick up another boy first and take him out, I said to the boys, I said, if you didn't have provincials tomorrow, I said, we would not be going. You would be staying home. Lisa says snow is coming this weekend. Well, hopefully you don't get a ton of it. Okay, so we've got the base of our card front done here. Now let's do a little bit of stamping. So I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to use this greeting that says, to the woman who does it all with grace and wisdom. And I'm going to pull in my markers. Now this time, because I'm going to ink right on, I know I love this color combination too, Beth, right on the stamp, I want to use my Stamp and Write markers. You never want to use your alcohol markers on your stamps. They are two very, very different types of markers. If you want to add color to your stamps, make sure you're using the Stamp and Write markers, not the Stamp and Blends, okay? So, and the way I like to do it is I like to start with the lightest color first. So I'm going to be using Calypso Coral and Basic Black. So I'm gonna do my coral first, and I want to do the scripty word, so the word woman, in coral. Amy says she's got an event to go to tomorrow, so she's hoping it will be better. Yes, I hope so too, because we have to head into Edmonton. Well, into Edmonton. I make it sound like it's so far away. It's not very far away, but yeah, I'm hoping that the roads are better tomorrow too. Okay, so I've done that, and then I'm gonna take my black, and you wanna use, I'm sure you've noticed, you want to use the paintbrush end, and you're using it on the side of the paintbrush end rather than at the tip like this. Because if you use the tip, you're going to start fraying your markers. So this will just prolong the tip of your marker. Okay, so ink that up. And then I'm going to just give it a huff, and that will re-moisten that coral in case that dried. And stamp it in the middle. And there we go. So that's how you can get two colors on your stamps. Now I'm going to bring in this story label punch and punch it out. Try to make it relatively centered and straight. That looks good. Okay, so we've got that. And then I've gone ahead and I've pre-cut a pool party one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut right down the center of this. And I'm gonna add adhesive to the back of my greeting, and I'm going to offset it just a little bit so it looks like I'm matting my punched piece. So just like that. All right, so you don't get that matte right on the sides, but that's okay. It still looks really, really good, and it makes that pop. So now I will use some dimensionals on the back of this and add that to my card front. Okay, and then yes, I know those coordinating products, just so you guys know, if you're thinking of getting anything, make sure you pick it up sooner than later. They did order limited quantities, and already the frogs have sold out. So the frog framelits have sold out. So if there's anything that you're considering, don't hold off. Pick it up sooner than later so that you don't miss out on that. Okay, and then I've got a bow here that I've tied from our pool party and silver baker's twine. And where's my paper piercer? Oops. I'm going to just use a mini glue dot to stick this on. I'm using up some of my paper pumpkin mini glue dots. I love that you get so many extra glue dots and dimensionals in the paper pumpkin kits. Which, by the way, if you guys are not subscribers to Paper Pumpkin, which is a monthly crafting kit, you guys should definitely do it before the end of the day on the 10th of March, because next month we're getting included in the stamps, in the kit is a free stamp set. So if you want to give it a try, this is definitely the month to give it a try. And we know that it's birthday themed because they're celebrating their birthday, their 6th birthday. Okay, and then on the inside of the card, I've gone ahead and pre-done this. So I've got a piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures 4 by 5 1/4. And then I used the greeting, "You are like a diamond, resilient, strong, and beautiful." And I did the same technique I did here. Okay, so we're gonna add adhesive to that and stick it on the inside of the card. So remember, I can send this to one of you beautiful ladies. Well, and I'm sure there's gentlemen that might watch afterwards too. So be sure to comment or share the post to be entered to win. Okay, so there you go. So that's the first card that we're creating. Oh, Amy's waiting for an order. She's hoping, yeah, she's hoping that the UPS driver isn't delayed today because of the weather. Okay, so next up, we've got a little bit of a fun fold, and we're using pretty much the same products. So this is it here, and it just opens like that. So it's still the same size. We're using the same DSP, the same color combination. I did throw in some rhinestones and then my layering ovals to layer the greeting, and then I chose different greetings from the same stamp set. Okay, so let me show you how simple this is to make. Now I just made this morning before I took the boys to their meeting, so I'm hoping that I remember all the measurements. Okay, so this piece is a piece of pool party. It measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. We don't want to score it just yet. So what we're gonna do, or I don't have it scored just yet, is we're gonna pull in the paper cutter. And remember, on the Stampin' Trimmer, this one scores and this one cuts. So light gray scores, dark gray cuts. And we are going to score it at 4 1/4 inches. And then we're not gonna move it. Oh, Amy just did this fold for a swap that she's participating in. That's awesome. Okay, so then what I've done is I've moved my cutting blade up. I'm going to line the point of the cutting blade. So where this little kind of arrow is, I'm going to line it up with 1 1/4 inches. And I just need to stand up for this, make sure I've got it lined up. Okay, so I haven't moved my cardstock, and I'm going to cut up. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift this ruler part up, I'm gonna slide this down, and I'm going to line it up with 4 1/4 inches, and I'm gonna put it down, and this time I'm gonna move my blade down. Oh, that did not work well. Ooh, hopefully I can fix that. Okay, and then that's it on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put this line it up with the 1 1/4 inch mark, which is the mark that is right before the dark gray starts. So I'm gonna put that there. I'm going to line this up with the 4 1/4 inch mark, which will bring it to right where that score line is, and I'm going to go up. So I'm gonna cut it up. And then I'm going to, this piece will just pop out and that we can save for something else. And then I'm gonna move over. I'm gonna line it up with the 1 1/4 inch mark here. Oh, that looks terrible. I hope I can salvage that. And then put it at the 4 1/4 inch mark. And then again, slice up. Okay, let's see if we can fix this. Let's bring in my snips. Snip this out. Okay. It just kind of pulled the cardstock just a little bit here. Okay, that is the back of the card, so. Okay, all right, and then this flap will get folded down, just like that, and that's the base of our card. Okay, so for the inside, let's do the inside first. I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock that measures, yes, I love fun folds. As you can tell, I often do fun folds. I was talking to a group of demonstrators the other day, and one of them, Kathy, hi Kathy, if you watch later, she's really into techniques. And for me, if I'm looking for something different to do, I always look for a different fun fold. I'm not so much into techniques. Okay, all right, so we're back to the card here. We've got a Whisper White cardstock for inside, and this piece, I cut it 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So it's just 1/8 of an inch smaller than our card base, than the inside of the card base. And then I've got 2 strips of DSP that measure 1 1/4 inches across and 4 1/8. So those are gonna go on either side of this white piece. And I like to put these on first because if they happen to be just a touch long or a touch short, I can trim my white or trim the excess of the DSP off before I stick it onto my card base. And these look pretty good. I don't think they need to be trimmed. Okay, so then we're gonna add adhesive to this and stick this on the inside. And we will have just a small border all the way around. So it's about 1/16 of an inch all the way around. Okay, so now let's do our stamping on the inside. So I'm going to use this greeting that says, "You have what it takes to be unstoppable," and I couldn't be more proud. So this is a card that I think I might give to my daughter when it comes down to when she's getting ready to study for her finals. Just as a little note of encouragement that I believe in her. Okay. So I'm doing the same technique I did on the other card where I'm just using my Calypso Coral Stampin' Right marker to ink up the scripty words, and then I'll go back in with my black marker and ink up the typed words and the ampersand. So what does everybody have planned this weekend? Anything fun? Okay, I'll give that a huff. Yes, finals will be happening before we know it. I think there's only a month left of university. Okay, stamp that on there. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to decorate the outside. So I've gone ahead and I've embossed a piece of Whisper White cardstock. So this piece measures 2 3/4 by 4. And then I've got a piece of Calypso Coral cardstock. This one, for this particular card, I am not gonna color it. The coral measures 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And I'm just going to stick those together. My daughter, Brett, my daughter is in university, her second year of university. She just turned 20 on Tuesday. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. I cannot believe I have a 20-year-old daughter, but I do. Okay, so then we're gonna add adhesive to this, and that goes onto this front panel. And then, where's my sample? I can't remember what it looked. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I've got a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I am going to stamp this greeting that says, "You're amazing and that's a fact." I need to share my beauty secrets. I think it's all in my genes. My mom looks very young as well. All right, you can tell because I don't know if you noticed at the beginning of the video, I have a lot of gray. I need to have my hair colored. My roots need to be done, and oh my gosh, that's really what gives it away is my hair. Okay, so I'm just gonna stamp this on here, just using Memento Black. I remember when I was in my first year of university, I went into education, and mostly just because that's what my dad wanted. It wasn't necessarily what I wanted, but I didn't have any other ideas. So wisdom highlights, yes, that's good. So I went into education, and he thought I should be a French teacher because I went to French immersion up until grade 8, and I was really good in French. And so I went to university and I did my first practicum. It was in a junior high, and I'm short. I'm like, if I'm lucky, on a good day, I'm 5'1". So I am very small. And I walk into the school and everybody thought I was a new student. And I knew from that day on that there is no way that I was going to be a teacher. I mean, I kind of knew that before anyways. It just wasn't something that I wanted to do. At least not teach in a school. I love that I teach now. Just I teach adults and I teach crafting classes. So yeah. So I guess in a roundabout way, I did end up being a teacher. Okay, so now I've got a scrap piece of Calypso Coral and I've got my greeting, and I'm going to bring in my layering ovals. And I am using number 2. So again, for those of you who may not know how I organize my framelits, is I number them when I get them. Any of the nesting framelits, I start with the smallest and I number them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, I just keep going like this. So these ones are numbered and then these ones are numbered separately. Okay, so I'm gonna use number 2 here and then number 2 on here and cut those out. So I'll bring in the Big Shot, move these to the side. Bring in my magnetic platform. Okay. All right, and we'll run those through. Okay, move these out of the way. Okay, so we've got our pieces here. Move my scraps out of the way. We're going to attach this to here. Yeah, it is kind of a guessing game, hey? I just found it easier to number them because that way I can explain to everybody when I'm doing a video like this, or if I'm doing a class, I can explain how I have them numbered and you guys would know exactly which framelit. I don't always want to have to measure what size framelit I'm using. So I'm kind of lazy when it comes to that kind of thing. So I would much rather just number my framelits and then explain to you guys how I have them numbered and you guys know which one to use. Okay, so see how those layer nicely? I love that. So on the first card, I showed you how to create a little mat using the same punch. And then on this one, I wanted to figure out, I always love when you can layer, create a bit more dimension by layering different shapes. So I figured that the oval worked really well in there. I was playing around with some circles, but I couldn't fit this greeting into a circle that would work with this story punch. Okay, so then we're gonna put dimensionals on here. And I just realized that I forgot my twine for this card. I can pull that out. Everything is quite handy. It does work nicely, doesn't it, Christine? Okay, so that's gonna go in the center. Actually, you know what? Let's put it down here. Okay, and now I'm gonna grab my twine. Okay. So I've got that pool party and silver baker's twine. Thank you, Susan. And I'm just gonna tie a bow and trim that. And we'll use a mini glue dot. Pop it right on here. And then we're going to add some rhinestones on here just to dress it up a little bit. So I'm going to use some of this, well, one of the smallest ones. Let's put one here. Let's use a bigger one up here. One there and one there. There we go. So there's another simple fun fold. You guys know that I don't do complicated. I don't like to spend a ton of time on my cards. So whenever will I be adding more scrapbooking tutorials? You know what, Brett? I have got tons of plans. I am going to a retreat next weekend, and that is when I'm going to be planning at least 2 more scrapbooking classes. There will be one class that will be posted April 1st, and then I know that there will be another one in May, and then possibly one more in between there. So that's what I'm working on next weekend, is scrapbooking classes. So there are definitely more to come for those. Yeah, so there's a quick and easy fold for you, something a little bit different. And here's the first card that we created. So using the same basic supplies, same greetings, same colors, same DSP, you can create something that is 2 very, very different cards. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Thanks so much for watching. If there's anything that you would like to order, feel free to visit my website. And if you use that host code, I will send you a little treat in the mail as well. All right, so thanks so much for watching. I will be back next Friday from Bittern Lake, live from my retreat. And we'll be creating something, I think it'll be something Easter themed. That's kind of what I'm thinking. I have an idea in my head. So if it works, that's what we're gonna do. All right, thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great weekend. Drive safe.